Okay, here we go with our last piece of drawing. Now, if we have a look at our SketchUp design in our OneNote, it's a bit hard to see what we're about to do, but apart from, if we look at the top view, there's two pieces of timber in here. Now, we haven't been given dimensions, but I'm going to use the dimensions of 67 wide. And that's because when we cut up the timber in the class, or for the class in the workshop, we may as well just use the same pieces of 67 mil wide by 12 mil thick, and whatever that dimension is. So you can see that that's going to be another piece. It's going to be 300 long by 67 in there. So if we go to SketchUp, this is what we've got so far. And if we have a look at the views, at the standard views, you can see that's what we've got at the top. And if we have a look at this, we haven't got those pieces in there, we've just got everything else. If we have a look at the front view, we've got all that, and you can see that we've got that view. Normally, these are called orthogonal drawings. Normally they'd have what's known as hidden detail lines, where they'll have dotted lines to actually, or dashed lines to show you where the pillars are running and where the bases are and things like that. But we haven't got those in this one. That's okay. We will put them in, and we'll put this base in there, and you'll start to understand what it looks like. So we have to work from the bottom. So let's flip this around. I'm just going to rotate it to this point so that I can see what I'm doing. And what I aim to do is I want to put a base over the top of this and fix it up. And it's going to be a bit fiddly, but we should be okay. So we start with a rectangle, and we know that it's going to be 67. There you go. I've already got to have to fix this up. Let's zoom in a bit. Yep, that's better. We start with this point here, and we're going to go across here like this. I still can't see everything that I need to do, which is fiddly, I know. And we'll start with here, and we'll start going there. So if I do that, you see that my dimensions are 23 by 19. So what our dimensions are is, because this is inside it, and this piece here is 300 mils, and these two pieces over here are 12 mil thick, we have to take off 12 plus 12, which is 24, off 300, which is 267, and it's 67 millimeters thick. 67 millimeters wide. So I'm typing 276, you can hear me type, comma 67, and if I hit enter, I get that piece of timber there, right? Now, you'll notice also that we end up with the pillar showing through the base. And watch what happens if I delete this. If I click that line, press delete, and if I click, you'll already notice what happens. My pillar becomes hollow. So I don't want that. What I want to do is undo that erase, and I'm just going to use the push-pull tool and bring this piece up, right, to 12 millimeters. 1, 2, brought that up 12 millimeters, and it's got that hollow piece of the pillar. So I'll fill that in. So I just go like this. I'll go like this, it's a lot easier. From this endpoint across to here, like that, and I fill that piece in. Then I can delete that line out of there, and it won't delete or make my pillar hollow or my piece of timber hollow either. So I rotate this around, and I'll do the same thing to this one. Do the same thing here, where I start at this endpoint, I go across to this endpoint, and I fill that in, and then I can delete that, and delete that, and now I have my base, start of my base. Hey. And now what I can do is I can move this so that I'm working on the next one, which is over here. Okay, so Bit fiddly, I know, but that's the best way to do it. Alright, and if anyone else suggests a better way, then maybe they can, but I'm going to do it that way. So my next piece is going to go in here, and you can see that if I go, look, you can see there, I've got 23 by 19. Now I know that piece is 23 by 19, but what I need is 276, right? Because that's 12 plus 12, which is 24. It's 300 minus 24, which is 276, comma 67. I hope that doesn't confuse everyone, but that's just the way you do it. I've got that piece in there now. It fits in there snug. I use the push-pull tool to bring it up. 12 millimeters thick piece of wood. And then I'm going to move this so I can see it a bit better. I then have to fill that little gap or void in there. So I'm going to go across here like this, and that fills that one in. I can delete those lines, just these ones here. I don't tend to use the erase tool. I prefer to use the delete on my keyboard. There is an erase tool, but sometimes it can be a bit fiddly and a bit cumbersome because the SketchUp doesn't quite know what you want to do. Let's zoom in on this. I'm just simply scrolling with my mouse to be able to zoom in. I click the M point and M point like that, and then of course I hit delete and I hit delete, and there we have our completed. Let's have a look. Let's spin it around. We'll go to the ISO view and zoom out. Oh, it's upside down now. View, standard views, top view, and then view. Sorry, camera standard views ISO. I've said that about 3 or 4 times. And there we have our box, our crate completed. All right. Now the next thing to do, of course, is to use the paint bucket tool and get this these items up here. If you choose timber, and watch what happens if you select all of it. I just press Control plus A, and it selects all. If I hit that, then my box is now timber, except for that piece there. That's the one that played up, remember, in the previous tutorial. And I'll just make sure that, oh yep, it's all timber. You can use whatever material you want. This one's bamboo. You might want to use cork. Yeah, particle board, you would say. Light flooring, or bamboo. Whatever you like. I think timber is the best way to go with this one. Then all you have to do is just say select none. So Control A selects all, Control T selects none, and there you have it. You have your timber 3D box with its base in there already. Looks mighty cool if you ask me. And of course you can see that because that other piece doesn't like being selected, it's now a different material. So we can go back and fix that one like that. And I think the base of it also is a funny color as well. Not funny color, just a different color to what it is. And there you have it. There's your 3D box. Now, you can do this to that. You can obviously save it, but you can also export it as a 2D graphic. And you might want to change it to a JPEG and call it your name and timber crate. And then you can pop that, let's export that, then you can pop that onto this one here if you'd like. So then you can show me your completed crate. That's all for the tutorials. See you later.